What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if Spider-Man Miles Morales is going to be a launch day game for the PS5. And I really do think this is something that's going to happen. I think, I'm actually on my second channel. I'm going to leave a link for that in the description below if you guys want to check it out. I actually talked about Horizon Forbidden West, if that could be a launch day game. And I have conflicting thoughts on that one. For Spider-Man, I am 1000% on board with this is absolutely a launch day game. And let me explain why. Well, firstly, we know that this is a holiday 2020 game. Now, they didn't give a month, they didn't give a date, obviously, but holiday 2020. Holiday normally means November, December, okay? Holiday also means, in terms of the case that we're dealing with right now with the PS5, you need to have something for the PS5 when it comes out. Now, again, on the second channel, it's going to be repeating a little bit of the stuff I said there, but I think it's good points to point out. Let's go back to the PS4, okay? PS4 launched, obviously, November of 2013. What was there? Well, in terms of exclusives, there was Killzone Shadowfall, okay? That was the big one. That was the game that really was going to show off what the console could do, very early on. But that was let's give you a tech demo of a franchise that's been popular, still is popular, but it's not like the biggest thing that we could possibly do. That next big thing is Infamous Second Son, which we'll get there in our our talk throughout time. So we had that. We also had Resogun and Contracts. Now, in my opinion, Resogun was the best game that came out on the PS4, especially exclusive for the first full year. I think Resogun was the best PlayStation exclusive that was out. But what did they do? They had, again, the glorified tech demo for the PS4 and Killzone. Again, I mean, Killzone was a solid game. I didn't love it. I actually liked Killzone 2 and 3 better than it. But I enjoyed Shadowfall for what it was. Then, again, February 2014. Important to note February because we're going to get there. They released Infamous Second Son. Okay, they released Infamous Second Son, and that was the first, established franchise that was on the PS3. Let's jump into PS4. Now, again, did it turn out to be very good? In my opinion, no. It was a solid game. It wasn't like a great game or anything. It kind of actually killed the Infamous franchise, but, it was a big game for PlayStation at the time. All right. PS5, and I really do. I want to make videos. I've been doing the top lists. I've been making a lot of list videos. I love making them. I want to make more videos, kind of putting together what I think will be the launch games and what will be kind of the games afterwards. That's what these videos are kind of leading into. Horizon, I don't see it. Horizon, I really think is a February one. Again, I talk about that in the video on the second channel. But for Spider-Man, I think is that launch day game. I think, and what's interesting about it is I really like the strategy. It is not at all what I had expected. Okay, because really, going back a couple months ago, if you would have asked me, okay, Alex, what do you think is going to be that PS5 thing? Because, again, they need it. Now, there's going to be other ones. There's obviously that, I don't remember the name, that Destructible, that All-Stars game, the one that looked like Fortnite and Rocket League and all those games. They're going to have that, and that's a multiplayer game. There's that Kenna, the Bridge of Spirits, whatever that's called. That game looks incredible. They're going to have smaller games. They're going to have multiplayer games. There's going to be third-party games, right? The Star Wars Squadron game, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, lots of games, sports games. There's going to be games to play on your PS5, okay? Probably similar to what we had back in 2013. But for those launch day games, you need something for the PlayStation 5. Again, last time we had Killzone, and then we had smaller games. This time, it seems like it's Spider-Man and smaller games. And again, that is a phenomenal strategy. Why? Well, because this is, and remember we talked about it, there was a lot of misinformation going on the Spider-Man game. A lot of people were calling it the sequel, like a Spider-Man 2, and those, again, like I said when that came out, that's not really what you should be calling it. It really looks like a Spider-Man 1.5. It looks like what did I say? It looks like a glorified DLC. Well, what is that? We've now heard word that this is like the Uncharted Lost Legacy of Spider-Man. Okay, I was going to say Infamous. It's kind of like even the infamous First Light, although I think Lost Legacy was bigger than First Light in terms of for Infamous, right? So this is basically a Spider-Man, a big DLC, basically a standalone game that probably has aspects of DLC, but it kind of ballooned up obviously into its own thing. Again, really solid strategy. This is the stopgap between Spider-Man 1 and 2. Spider-Man 2 is definitely coming next fall, okay, fall of 2021. You already see that. In fact, even in the trailer for this Miles Morales, there's snow in the background, so it's taking place over the winter. I could very well see this game leading directly into the events of Spider-Man 2, which I think is awesome. And again, this is very unexpected. This is not something that I thought we would get. Because again, if you would have asked me what I would have expected to be this fall, I would have said probably a hidden Killzone, because remember, there was rumors of a Killzone multiplayer game. I would have said that. I obviously wanted Horizon Zero Dawn 2 for a long time. I wanted that to be the thing. So that is what I probably would have said. This makes a lot of sense. Again, stop. And another thing is they're really banking on Spider-Man. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt that. Remember, we talked about it just a few days ago. I said, is Spider-Man 2 PS5's most important game? The answer, by the way, is not even that. I think Spider-Man is, for some reason, and I guess not for some reason, like there's clearly tons of reasons, is probably their most important franchise, and the one maybe not most important, but definitely the one that they have a lot of confidence in. They know they can like ride the market on. You know what I mean? It like this really shows a lot of confidence that they say, hey, first game. I mean, imagine that we got Lost Legacy after Uncharted, and even First Light after Infamous, but that was on the fourth game for Uncharted and the third game for Infamous, right? We're getting this after the first game. They made Spider-Man 1, and then they're going to make a spin-off, big-ish game that's not the size of a sequel, but pretty darn close. And this is after one game. And then next year, there'll be a Spider-Man 2, which, I mean, is just going to be insane. So think about that. That is absolutely incredible that they are putting this much stock. And again, this is a good thing, but I'm not saying like, oh, man, can you believe that Sony's making this mistake? No, this is a good thing. This is what we kind of want because this is not something we expected. And what does this do now? This lets them really, in a way, stretch out their launch. I mean, there's probably a lot of things that we still don't know about, okay? I'm not sure how many big things we're going to still find out about. Like, is there a hidden Killzone game? Is there, like, a PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2? Like, in the, you know what I mean? I don't know if we're going to see those big games, but already you're seeing, okay, well, we have Spider-Man Miles Morales. That's a launch day game. Then we have in the spring, not even necessarily spring, like late holiday season or late winter, probably Horizon 2, okay, probably in like February, lines up 4 years after the first Horizon. Then you probably fit the Demon Souls remake somewhere in the late spring, early summer, and then your big fall game is Spider-Man. And then do you have maybe another game that's maybe hidden that we don't know? Maybe like a new Uncharted or something. Maybe that can come out. You know what I mean? Already you're seeing in the first year, they're able to do this now, where before it was like, all right, well, I guess you can put a Killzone game there. That's kind of weird. Nobody's really asking for it. Can you put Horizon there? But then if you put a Horizon there, what comes out in the spring? There's really nothing. I guess now there's Demon Souls. So I guess you could do that, right? It could be Spider-Man, Horizon. Then in the springtime, it's Demon Souls. Then in the fall, it's Spider-Man 2. I guess you could do that. But, I mean, the way they're doing it now, unexpected, but unexpected in the best way. Although it is glorified DLC, okay? I don't think this is going to be the biggest step up from Spider-Man 1. You know, when you looked at it, and this is just my personal opinion, I loved it. By the way, I mean, I put it on the list of like the top 5 things that were at the event. So I truly love this. This is the day one buy for me. No doubt, no question, this is a day one buy. But it is kind of like Lost Legacy, where you had Uncharted 4, and then it's not like Lost Legacy was like Uncharted 5, like, oh my god, they took another massive step. Like, they did different things. It was in a different area. They focused on a lot of different kind of, like, aspects, right? Different characters. But the game looked largely the same. The mechanics were exactly the same. In fact, they kind of reused even big moments in Uncharted 4. They reused them in Uncharted Lost, which I didn't love those parts, but I didn't love that they reused them. They're actually very solid, but I just didn't love that they reused them. But again, it was a DLC, but a really big DLC where it was definitely its own game. You play it, takes 5-6 hours to beat, definitely worth $40. You can go back into it a couple, you know what I mean? It was very good, but it wasn't Uncharted 5. So Spider-Man, you know, you look at what Horizon looked like in that trailer, and then look at Spider-Man, it's clear that this isn't that next-gen huge jump for Spider-Man, okay? It's just not. Spider-Man 2018 still looks absolutely, I mean, I replayed, I platinumed the game a few months ago. It still holds up where you would think, if I told you it were released in 2020, you'd probably believe me, because it still looks absolutely incredible. So the jump between 1 and Miles Morales isn't the biggest, but that's only because the actual jump is happening with Spider-Man 2 that we haven't seen yet and that we will see very soon. So again, there's so many things to be looking forward to when it comes to the PS5. This was very, very unexpected, but I cannot see. Again, holiday, am I taking a leap of faith saying that this is going to be a launch day game? I guess so, but I don't see the PS5 launching without this at the same time. I mean, I guess, you know, Killzone Shadowfall released a few weeks before. I actually bought that game like a week and a half before the PS4. Remember, you could do that. There were a couple games that you could buy the PS4 versions of before the system came out. Would this game do the same thing? I'm not necessarily sure. Also, there's a little unknown still, and they said they're going to talk about, you know, more details in the future. because this is like a brand new game, is this only PS5? Because they did say that games on PS5, like their own exclusives, are only going to be on PS5. Now, while I love that, and I think that's actually fine, that is something that they need to clarify rather soon, because you have a lot of people that bought the PS4 for Spider-Man, and again, they're very smart. They're saying, you know what, we got you all to get the PS4 for Spider-Man. We're getting you to get the PS5. We're going to get you to do it for Miles Morales, and then we're going to get you again for Spider-Man 2. Like, they know exactly what they're doing. It's very cunning and smart of them, but they are going to have to make it clear if this game is only a PS5 game. And I honestly, it kind of needs to be, because again, what else do you have? You're going to have all these smaller titles, but a big game to drive the system. Again, it makes so much sense that this would be that, right? And that this would be exclusive, because it is going to drive. It's going to sell PS5s, because people are going to get it for this, and then people are also going to get it for Spider-Man 2, which this will just lead into. You know what I mean? So I see this as a game that either releases day one with the PS5 or before. I can't see the PS5 releasing, say, November, let's just throw a date, November 15th, and then this game releases like December 1st. You know what I mean? Like, you have the PS5, but you have to wait like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get this game. I just don't see that happening. So, as you can tell from my voice, very exciting. I'm very excited for this game. I cannot wait to get my hands on PS5. Cannot wait to get my hands on this game, as well as really the majority of the games we saw at that PS5 reveal event. I cannot wait to get it. But guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think this game is going to be a PS5 exclusive? Do you think this game is going to be a launch day game? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up, and I'll continue to talk about this game. I'm sure we'll see it over the next little while, especially again because it'll probably come out 4 or 5 months from now. I'm sure we'll see it rather soon. I'll definitely be making videos on it. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you all on those videos.